Hello, welcome to Hot Flashes and Hard Truths. I'm Lisa, and today's segment is We Did It to Ourselves. So, I know I kind of touched a little bit on my first video about how our body lotions, makeup, all that stuff has endocrine disruptors. And the Mayo Clinic has done studies about how women are starting to go through puberty and menopause a lot early. Well, that is a lot worse than I actually thought. So essentially, with all of the endocrine disruptors in our makeup, lotions, hair care products, I didn't realize how many were in our everyday things. Like, I knew there were toxins in the plastic that, our food comes in all of the containers, and toxins in our food, but I didn't realize that all of the toxins that are in the plastic in our food containers also contribute to our endocrine system. I mean, I kind of did, but seeing it in print kind of really made it stick a little bit more. So our whole day is filled with toxicity and endocrine disruptors. We wake up in the morning and we usually have a cup of coffee. Well, our cup of coffee has, if you're me, a flavored creamer, and that flavored creamer has toxins in it that disrupt my endocrine system. Seed oils, not good for you. So then we take a shower and we shampoo and condition and use our body wash. And as I was using my Bath & Body shower gel, which I absolutely love, and I'm really going to miss those products, but it dawned on me how much all of the fragrances are really disrupting us. So the fragrance actually has the most endocrine disruptors in it. If you can find something that is fragranced with, like eucalyptus or, any kind of essential oil, that's a lot better for you. However, the perfumes that are in our products are really bad for us. Unfortunately, our government just allows these companies to grease their pockets so that they can sell us whatever they want without telling us about the product. Now, in Europe, not only do they have to conduct studies, they have to conduct a lot of studies. They have to have an entire data sheet. They have to submit it to this special board. This special board has to go over everything and approve the chemical or not. However, in America, we don't do that. The same companies that make us sick are the same ones that give us the cure, and our government is 100% complicit because, well, they get a nice big campaign donation. So, the hell with us. Now, Europe doesn't allow this. A lot of other countries don't allow this. Another thing I discovered was they are coming up with brand new chemicals every day, constantly coming up with new chemicals. And when we discover a chemical that's bad, they change the name. So then you look at your bottle and you don't see that one chemical and you think it's not there when really they just changed the name. So anything that has parabens, phthalates, or parafume, P-A-R-F-U-M-E, is not perfume. It is a certain chemical that really disrupts our endocrine system. And it's actually so bad that our toxicity we are passing on to our children. So when you're born with a certain amount of eggs. When you have a child, you pass on eggs to your child. And then that child then passes on some of yours and their own to their child. So our toxic eggs stay in our body, then we transfer them to our children, and then our children and douse themselves in all these toxins and then pass those eggs on to their children. So there is a big, big, big rise in infertility and also in stillbirth. There's stillbirth is on the rise, and of course, nobody knows why. Now, another thing with these chemicals is they don't break down and they don't leave your body. They just keep accumulating. And until you are the age 10, your body doesn't have the ability to detoxify itself. So every chemical that your child is exposed to up until age 10 stays in their body. They do not break it down. They do not pass it along. It stays and it accumulates. And some symptoms of children with endocrine disorders is obesity, ADHD, autism, neurological delays, cancer. Those are all signs of endocrine disruptors in children. So we are also making our children really sick with all of these products. Now we know that these products are bad for us. We just didn't know how bad these products are. Now, another study found that men have a 50% decrease in sperm in only 50 years. Well, what has really changed in 50 years other than the amount of chemicals we are constantly bombarded with? Low T was never a thing. I never heard of men having low T until maybe 10 years ago. So we have men with reduced sperm counts. We're bombarding our children. And now we are entering menopause a lot earlier than we should. So back to your body being given a certain amount of eggs at birth, once you go through those eggs, you don't get them back. So starting your period early affects you as well. If you start your period earlier, you run out of eggs earlier. It's just the way it is. So our children are now starting their periods earlier because of all the toxins, all the chemicals, and all the stuff that we're bombarding with, and in their food, their air, their water. So now, if I'm started menopause at 37, 38. So when is my daughter going to start? Is she only going to have a very brief window in time to have children? Do I now need to worry about my other daughter that's a little bit younger and is going to be exposed to even more toxins because they just keep coming up with more and more chemicals to put in our stuff? Bioengineering all of our food. What is that going to do to our population? These are all very real questions that we really need to start asking ourselves, which is also why I have no makeup on right now. I didn't do my hair because while I was in my shower using my Bath and Body, I was thinking about all the chemicals that are in my Bath and Body and how I shouldn't be using this. So then when I got out of the shower, I didn't want to slather myself in my Bath and Body lotion. I didn't want to put on my makeup that is full of all of my endocrine disruptors. I now find myself scared to use my products that I've loved for years. I love Bath and Body, and giving that up is going to be really hard, but that is a necessity. All of these strong fragrances are not good for us. They're not good for our bodies, and they're especially not good for our children. We really need to start looking at the labels. We need to start reading things. And we should really start holding our government accountable. They are in control of all of the products that are released to us. And the only time you hear of something is like, okay, so Nexium was pushed for decades. Best thing for heartburn, take Nexium for heartburn, Nexium, Nexium, Nexium. Commercials all over the place. Now there's class action lawsuits against Nexium up the rear because of cancer and heart disease and all this other stuff that they discover it causes. Now in Europe, they do the studies on people and have to prove that the studies on people did not have harmful effects before they can even submit their data for, being used in the public. We don't do that. We don't test our chemicals. We allow them to change the names of chemicals. We allow them to put so much toxin into our makeup and all the things. I mean, we put makeup on our face. We're putting this toxic stuff on our face, and our government allows it. So we either need to stand up and get all of this stuff taken out of our products, or we need to stop using it altogether. And if we don't, then we can just deal with, the consequences. Another one is an uptick in breast cancer. Breast cancer is like quadrupling. So if we're not going to look out for each other and look out for ourselves, humanity is going to be done, at least in America. We're getting to the point where American women are going to stop being able to have children at like 35 years old. That's a very small window. Most of us aren't even ready for kids until we're about 30. So then what? You know, you either have a baby way earlier than you plan to and want to just so that you can have one, or you wait until the right time and be told, oh, well, the only way you can have a baby is adoption or in vitro because your body just isn't working for you. Now, like I said, our endocrine system controls everything. It controls how your body loses weight, how your body gains weight. It controls your hormones. It controls your thyroid. We need our endocrine systems to be healthy. And we need to start doing something to make them a little bit healthier, since we can't rely on the government to make sure that our products are safe to use. So if you know of certain lotions, shampoos, conditioners, makeup that don't have any of these chemicals, I would love to hear about it in the comments, because I realized today that I really need to start doing my research on what I put on my skin, because it's bad enough that, you know, I can scrub my vegetables, but there's so much crap covering all of our food. You have to sanitize your food before you can eat it. And we have to do something, because this is going to get out of control, and it's already leading to a drop in population. And it's not leading to a drop in population in China, India, anywhere else. It's leading to a drop in population for Americans living in America using American products. And unfortunately, that is the reality that we are at. So like I said, if you have any tips on some useful products, also Lululemon and activewear. Activewear is being linked to sterility in women because it's made from plastic, and plastic, which unfortunately we can't avoid. Everything comes in plastic. But those pants are essentially made from plastic, rubbing up against your hoo-ha, and it's causing a lot of sterility in women. So we got to be careful about what we're wearing, what we're putting on our body, and what we're putting into our body, because it is really affecting us. And if we don't look out for each other, no one else will. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.